So we've all known for a while that Donald Trump surrounds himself with pretty awful people, and any of the people that were half decent from his first administration have now talked out against him and said that he was a disgrace. I believe the statistic is 40 of Donald Trump's 44 hand-selected cabinet members from his first term did not endorse him for a second term. A lot of those individuals saying very negative things about Trump, including his former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Mark Milley, saying Donald Trump was essentially a wannabe dictator or a fascist. I say fascist-esque, so fascist-like, I guess, if you will. Regardless, it should be no surprise that because Donald Trump only looks for yes men, and all of the individuals in Donald Trump's sphere tend to not have the best moral compass, that today Robert Morris surrendered in Oklahoma to crimes against children, to put it lightly, and we're going to get into that in a second. He is a former Texas megachurch pastor and a former spiritual advisor to Donald Trump. Now, before we get into the charges themselves, it is stunning to me that I have seen pretty much no press from the right about this. I've seen no MAGA influencers talk about it. I really haven't seen Fox or anyone else post about it, which is fascinating because they're the ones who always scream and yell that the woke left are coming for your kids or touching children, I guess, inappropriately, often guided toward the LGBTQ plus community, which is disgusting and gross, abhorrent things to say about a generalization about a community that just doesn't exist. But again, all this projection, it seems like they're constantly, I guess, admitting to something in this case. So quickly, before we get into the charges, let's look at where Robert Morris was in relation to Donald Trump over the last essentially almost 10 years now. So in 2016, this is an official Trump campaign document from 2016. This document, like all others identified as Trump campaign press releases, was entirely prepared by the Trump campaign. This includes no independent research or fact checking. So this is just an original campaign document from 2016. Trump campaign press release. Trump campaign announces Evangelical Executive Advisory Board. Donald J. Trump campaign announced a new executive board convened to provide advisory support to Mr. Trump on those issues important to evangelicals and other people of faith in America. And if we scroll down and look at the executive board members and who they include, we see right here Robert Morris, a senior pastor at the Getaway Church. Now, obviously, in this idea of him running a church and doing things like Donald Trump's advisory board, again, should come as no surprise because Donald Trump has quite a few funny quotes when he's asked about his religion and how close he is to claiming to be close to God or claiming to be a Christian. And when he's asked about his favorite Bible verse, he can't answer. Or when he's asked, are you an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy? It took me a minute to find that. He said, I like them both equally or something. There's some pretty funny quotes about that. So this is just, it all wraps in perfectly. It's honestly unbelievable. And then we move on. This is June of 2020. Donald Trump holds a roundtable on transition to greatness at Getaway Church. So this is the mega pastor who was arrested. This is his church. And Donald Trump was invited for a roundtable here to speak. And you can see the video, it's over, an hour and 24 minutes. And Donald Trump is obviously the main part of the event. And they're all talking about transition to greatness and Donald Trump and blah, 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 blah. This picture comes from that roundtable. Robert Morris is sitting right next to him. And then finally, we get to more recently, this is September 26th of 2020. And this event is where Amy Coney Barrett, her ceremony after she was nominated to be a member of the Supreme Court or sworn in as a member of the Supreme Court. And this was a big COVID spreader at the White House. This is why this is a very known event inside the White House event now under COVID-19 scrutiny. But again, with COVID being a thing here, this event was pretty small. You see, this is like pretty much all the people. There's some people back here if you're looking at my screen. But again, the mega church pastor is in this photo. I spent quite a bit of time trying to find out which one of these individuals is him. Unfortunately, as you can see, Donald Trump surrounds himself with quite a few old white dudes, and they all look exactly the same. So really hard in this picture of really no diversity to find another old white dude with gray hair. He's in here somewhere. I've looked through some of the photos, but regardless, again, shows you how close Donald Trump is with this individual. And going back, talking about, again, as I record this March 17th, Robert Morris turned himself in today. He was originally charged with several things last week, and then he turned himself into the Oklahoma authorities today. So let's read a little bit about this. He surrendered his passport and was released on a $50,000 bond. And his attorney declined to comment, but they anticipated entering a non-guilty plea excuse me. The lawyer said they plan on entering a not guilty plea on his client's behalf. So he's going to plead not guilty. Now, last year, get this, last year, Morris admitted that he was, quote, involved in inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady. Quote, it was kissing and petting and not intercourse, but it was wrong. End quote. And I believe this is him admitting to a situation that happened quite a few years ago. Again, Morris resigned earlier last year because of these allegations or allegations relating to this of a woman accusing him of essaying her in the 1980s. She was 12 years old. 12. And again, that's in relation to this statement, quote, it was kissing and petting and not intercourse, but it was wrong. Ooh, that is, I think, I know some of this has been a little bit more lighthearted, but it's genuinely disgusting. It's absolutely abhorrent. And it's abhorrent that the Republican Party themselves, or a lot of these Republican elected officials or influencers, have no spine. They believe in nothing. These individuals believe in nothing. Like, such a huge thing for them always with Biden was that he touched children inappropriately, which wasn't true. We know about Joe Biden that his originally, when Joe Biden ran for Senate, I believe he was 30 years old, just a few months after he was elected. His wife and his newborn child were actually killed in a tragic car accident. The two other individuals in the back of that car, his two other children, survived. They were a young Beau Biden and Hunter Biden. Beau Biden would go on to serve in Iraq, come back, and die of brain cancer from the fumes from the toxic burn pits in Iraq. So he had brain cancer pretty young and unfortunately passed away. And then Hunter Biden, we know, has been through quite a few things. So if anybody understands empathy, it's Joe Biden. And so again, these consistent claims that the woke left is doing these things and Joe Biden this. And meanwhile, we actually have an individual admitting and surrendering on these claims and is admitting to previously doing extremely inappropriate things with young children, and the right is silent. It's genuinely sickening to think about, and I really hope that Republicans, everybody, but specifically Republicans in this instance, speak out about this. Or Donald Trump speaks out about this. This is clearly someone who's very close to Trump. I only gave you 3 examples of him being involved with him in government, but again, I'm sure they were friends dating much further back. So we're going to see what happens. Again, he surrendered today, and we'll see if he takes that non-guilty plea. And what happens in terms of him making statements about this entire situation, etc. Listen, I appreciate you so much for watching this video. It genuinely means a lot to me. I know sometimes these days politically things can be hard. So remember, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a break from paying attention to news and all the craziness. I think a lot of you, I talk to people who I'm so grateful watch my content, and they say like, I'm tired. And I say, it's okay. Like, you don't need to feel guilty for taking a break. So please, as I record this, it's Monday. I hope you have a great week. And if you need to take a break, do so. I'm really, really proud of you, and I appreciate you watching these videos. It truly, I can't say it enough, means the world. I've been posting a few times on YouTube every single day now. So if you are interested in checking out more videos, if you're not reached the limit for the Trump madness, then you can check them out down below, and also click subscribe. It would really, really go a long way. And as always, my links to my other social media will be in the description down below. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.